Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video, we are going to talk about 10 signs that show Allah saying your waiting period is almost over. Your heart finds sudden peace. There are days when your heart is at war with itself. Worries pile up, prayers seem unanswered, and every breath is a weight to bear. But suddenly, without warning, something changes. You wake up one morning and the weight is gone. It is a moment you cannot explain. A deep calm settles over you as if an invisible burden has been lifted from your soul. This is the first sign that Allah gives you that your period of trial is coming to an end. Allah sends sakina, tranquility, into hearts even before the external situation changes. It is a silent promise, a mercy that precedes deliverance. It is He who has sent down serenity into the hearts of those who believe. Surah Al-Fath 48:4. Look around you. Nothing has changed, and yet everything is different. Your prayers may have already been answered in the unseen, and Allah is slowly preparing you to receive His answer. Silence before victory. Centuries ago, in a scorching desert, a beloved prophet of Allah and his companions waited. They were surrounded by enemies. The outcome seemed uncertain, but suddenly something enveloped them, an unexplained peace. This peace was a sign. The battle of Badr had not yet begun, but in their hearts, victory was already written. Allah had sent them sakina even before heavenly help descended. Your heart can also be a battlefield, but if Allah places serenity there, know that your victory is near, a subtle sign, a hidden answer. You may think that the answer to your invocation will come in the form of a spectacular event, but sometimes the first response is simply a peaceful heart. When Allah decides to change your situation, He always starts by changing your heart. Have you ever felt this sudden peace as if a weight had been lifted for no apparent reason? If so, then perhaps Allah is already sending you a sign. 2. Your dua becomes deeper and more sincere. There are days when you make dua mechanically. You recite words, but your heart is elsewhere. You ask without really feeling. Then one day, something changes. You raise your hands, and this time you feel every word. Your voice trembles, your eyes fill with tears. You are no longer just reciting a prayer. You are opening your soul to Allah. This is a sign. Allah is drawing you closer to Himself before granting you what you desire. Your pain, your impatience, your hope, all transform into a dua that comes from deep within you. When Allah draws you to Himself, sometimes you think that your dua is being ignored, but in reality, Allah draws you to a more sincere supplication before answering your prayer. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Indeed, Allah is generous and He is shy. He is embarrassed to reject the empty hands of His servant when he calls upon Him." Sunan at-Tirmidhi. When your supplication becomes more intense, more sincere, it is a sign that the answer is near. An inspiring story. The man who wanted a child. A man spent years asking for a child. He prayed again and again, but nothing changed. One night, broken by the weight, he fell into sujood. His tears flowed onto the cold ground. This time, he didn't just ask. He spoke to Allah like a child speaks to his father. "Ya Allah, if you don't want to give me this child, then change my heart so that I no longer feel this lack." At that moment, he surrendered his desire into the hands of Allah. He trusted, he accepted. A few months later, his wife was pregnant. The moment your dua changes everything. When you feel that sudden sincerity in your supplication, know that Allah is answering. Perhaps He was waiting for you at this very moment when your heart would finally open completely to Him. When was the last time I prayed with sincere tears, without restraint, in total surrender to Allah? If your dua becomes deeper, truer, then be prepared. And 3, unexpected opportunities present. You were convinced that it was over, no hope, no way out. You had tried everything. Then, without warning, an opportunity presents itself. A door you didn't even see opens before you. Someone calls you. An offer arrives. A path begins to emerge. It is a sign. When Allah wants to give to you, He does not need logic or reasons. He creates paths where there were none. When Allah opens a door you didn't expect. Maybe your ordeal has been going on for months, even years. You've done everything you could. You've searched, tried, prayed. Then one day, when you least expected it, a way out appears. Allah says in the Quran, "And whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out and provide for him in a way he did not expect." Surah At-Talaq 65, 2-3. You didn't force this door open. Allah unlocked it at the perfect time. The story of the ruined man who found a way out. A merchant was on the verge of bankruptcy. No more customers, no more money. He prayed day and night, but nothing changed. One night, he thought to himself, maybe Allah doesn't want me to succeed. Maybe this door is closed forever. The next day, a stranger came into his shop. He told him about an opportunity he had never considered, a partnership in a new city. A few months later, his business was thriving. He thought it was all over, but Allah knew it was just beginning. Opportunity is already on its way. Maybe right now, Allah is preparing a door for you, an opportunity that you don't see yet. Don't lose hope. Keep trusting, because the solution you're waiting for will come in a way you didn't expect. Ask yourself this question: what if the door I'm waiting for is not closed, but is just being prepared by Allah? When it's your time, nothing can stop what Allah has intended for you. 4. Your trials seem lighter. Visual: someone carrying a heavy load on their back, then the load gradually diminishes. You're still in the trial, but something has changed. Before, every day was a struggle. You felt like you were suffocating under the weight of trials. But today, even though they're still there, you feel them differently. You have more patience. You have more peace. You feel a strength that you did not have before. This is a sign. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever Allah wants good for, He tests him." Sahih al-Bukhari. If Allah wanted to send you away, He would have left you in heedlessness. But if He tests you and lightens your burden, it is because He is raising you to Himself. When a test turns into strength, look closely. Before, this pain consumed you. Today, it has taught you patience. Before, this problem seemed insurmountable. Today, you find solutions that you did not see. Before, you asked, "Why me?" Today you say, "Ya Allah, guide me through this." It is not that the test has disappeared, it is you who has grown. The story of the man who thought he was going to lose everything but gained more than he expected. A man lost his job after 15 years of service. At first, he was devastated. How was he going to feed his family? How was he going to survive? He spent nights in tears, begging Allah to open a door for him. But as time went on, he noticed something strange. The anxiety eased. He found solutions he had never considered. He felt that Allah was with him. Finally, he started his own business. A year later, He was earning more than he had ever earned before. His trial was the same, but Allah had strengthened him. If Allah lightens your burden, it means He is preparing for your deliverance. Perhaps your trial is not over yet. But if today you feel that it is less heavy, that your heart is less broken, that your soul finds a little more peace, it is because Allah is bringing you closer to relief. Ask yourself this: what if Allah was preparing me to receive something much greater? Keep moving forward. Your ordeal has an end, and it is closer than you think. 5. You find comfort in the Quran. There was a time when you read the Quran as a simple recitation. The words flowed, but your heart remained closed. But today, it is different. Every verse seems to speak directly to you. Every word is an answer to a question you didn't even know how to ask. You feel an inexplicable peace, as if Allah is speaking to you through His words. Allah says in the Quran, "And we have sent down from the Quran that which is a healing and a mercy for the believers." Surah Al-Isra, 1782. The Quran has not changed. You have changed. When the Quran becomes a refuge, trials have led you to listen differently. Before, you looked elsewhere for solutions. Now, you look in the Book of Allah. Were you afraid of the future? Then you came across, "And whoever puts his trust in Allah, He is sufficient for him." At-Talaq 65:3. Did you feel abandoned? Then you read, "Do not grieve, for Allah is with us." At-Tawbah 9:40. Did you think your trial would last forever? Then you found, "Verily, with difficulty comes ease." Ash-Shar 94:6. The story of the man who found peace in the Quran. A man had just lost everything: his job, his home, his honor. He was broken, wandering aimlessly. One day, when he was at his lowest, he found an old Quran that he had not opened for years. He opened it at random and came across this verse. "Say, O my servants who have transgressed against yourselves, despair not of the mercy of Allah. Verily, Allah forgives all sins. Verily, He is the forgiving, the merciful." Az-Zumar 39:53. It was as if Allah was speaking directly to him. That day, he found hope again. If the Quran speaks to you more than before, it's a sign. When your heart clings to the Quran, when you feel that Allah is answering you, it means that He is approaching the moment of your deliverance. Ask yourself this question: what if the Quran already contained the answer that I have been waiting for so long? Keep reading it. Your deliverance is closer than you imagine. 6. You begin to see the wisdom behind your ordeal little by little. You realize that this ordeal has brought you closer to Allah, that without it, you might never have felt this spiritual connection. It's a sign. 7. You receive unexpected encouragement. Sometimes Allah sends a person, a word, a video, a book at just the right time, like a direct reminder that He is always there. Have you ever felt this? 8. You feel a strong urge for gratitude. Despite your problems, you feel a surge of love for Allah. Your heart overflows with shukr, gratitude. Verse from the Quran: "If you are grateful, I will give you more." Surah Ibrahim 14:7. 9. The things you lose are replaced with better. Allah never takes anything without giving something better in return. Inspirational story. A man lost his job. He was anxious. A few weeks later, he found a much better position with more blessings. 10. You feel a call to pray more sincerely. If your heart calls you to pray more sincerely, it is because Allah is preparing your soul to receive His blessing. Verse from the Quran: "O you peaceful soul, return to your Lord, pleased and accepted." Surah Al-Fajr 89:27-28. Conclusion. Allah says to you, your waiting is soon over. If you feel these signs, then know Allah hears you and He has already planned your deliverance. Which of these signs have you already felt in your life? Share your experience in the comments. May your patience be rewarded. Allah has never forgotten you. 2. Your invocations become deeper and more sincere. There are days when you make dua without thinking too much about it, but suddenly you feel a deeper connection with Allah. You cry, you sincerely open yourself to Him. This is a sign. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Indeed, Allah is generous and He is shy. He is embarrassed to reject the empty hands of His servant when he calls upon Him." Sunan at-Tirmidhi. Inspirational story. A man spent years asking for a child. One night, he prayed with sincere tears, saying, "Ya Allah, if you do not want to give me this child, then change my heart so that I no longer feel this lack." A few months later, his wife was pregnant. 3. Unexpected opportunities arise. While you were lost, an opportunity that you no longer expected arises. A new job, a meeting, and unexpected help. Verse from the Quran. And whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a favorable way out and provide for him in a way he did not expect. Surah At-Talaq 65, 2-3. 4. Your trials seem lighter. You are still going through difficulties, but something is different. They seem less heavy. You feel a new strength within you. This is a sign. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever Allah wishes good for, He tests him." Sahih al-Bukhari. 5. You find comfort in the Quran before. You used to read the Quran without much emotion, but now every word resonates in your soul. You find answers in its verses. Verse from the Quran. And we have sent down from the Quran that which is a healing and a mercy for the believers. Surah Al-Isra 1782. 6. You begin to see the wisdom behind your trial. Little by little, you realize that this trial has brought you closer to Allah, that without her, you might never have felt this spiritual connection. It's a sign. 7. You receive unexpected encouragement. Sometimes Allah sends a person, a word, a video, a book just at the right time, like a direct reminder that He is always there. Have you ever felt this? 8. You feel a strong desire for gratitude. Despite your problems, you feel a surge of love towards Allah. Your heart overflows with shukr, gratitude. Quran verse, "If you are grateful, I will give you more." Surah Ibrahim 14:7. 9. The things you lose are replaced by something better. Allah never takes anything without giving something better in return. Inspirational story. A man lost his job. He was distressed. A few weeks later, he found a much better position with more blessings. 10. You feel a call to pray more sincerely. If your heart calls you to pray more sincerely, it is because Allah is preparing your soul to receive His blessing. Quran verse. O you, soul at peace, return to your Lord, well pleased and accepted. Surah Al-Fajr 89, 27-28. If you feel these signs, then know that Allah hears you, and He has already planned your deliverance. Which of these signs have you ever felt in your life? Share your experience in the comments. May your patience be rewarded. Allah has never forgotten you.